Would your employer pay the U.S. government $100,000 just to hire you? Well, that requirement has just been created for the H-1B visa applicant.
Just warned all H-1B employees in foreign countries on vacation to come back to the United States immediately because starting tomorrow, Trump has implemented a pretty unexpected executive order where instead of $1,000, the H-1B visa application fee is now $100,000. He just 100x the fee. Also changed other rules like making the minimum salary to get an H-1B go up to $150K from $60K. The first is because Trump sees even legal immigration as taking jobs away from Americans. But the problem, of course, is that companies have not been able to find enough skilled engineering talent in the United States, which is why they're looking at people abroad. The other reason he's doing this is you might remember we covered him firing the labor statistics chief because he didn't like the job numbers, but unfortunately firing her doesn't actually change the job numbers, which haven't been looking that hot even though the market is doing well. And by decreasing legal immigration, it does force companies to hire American workers instead, even if they're not skilled enough for those roles. The other way to get job numbers back up would be to take away tariffs because that gives companies the predictability they need to start hiring again. But obviously he doesn't want to do that, so this is an alternative where he just stops visa programs, and that probably would pump the job numbers up. The other reason is he wants to pay down the American debt. Last year there were 500,000 applications for H-1B visas that companies submitted, which would have raised $500 billion if they had all paid $100,000. Of course, once the $100,000 fee is implemented, most people are not going to submit applications anymore, but Trump is still estimating like $100 billion could be made from this program because he's also letting people buy visas on their own for $1 million. I do think a lot of exceptions will be made to this pretty insane rule, especially for his friends. Like, my pod prediction is that he's going to give Zuck and all the people that were like front row at his inauguration an exception or have some type of backdoor loophole. So if he does do that, the real people that'll get screwed over in this are tech startups as well as hospitals, because a lot of people in residency in the US right now, as well as doctors in rural areas, are on H-1B programs.
Oh yeah, guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing good. Trump has just announced that the H-1B visa free will skyrocket to $100,000. Yes, you heard that right. $100,000 just to apply for a work visa in the United States. And let me tell you, Americans are reacting in a big way. So guys, I'm just going to roll the clips. In case of any thoughts, in case of any comments, kindly let me know in the comment section. Stay tuned and I'll be coming back with more commentaries.
Everybody's focusing on the H-1B visa executive order of yesterday. I see a lot of people saying that this will lead to a lot of offshoring, which means that companies will just delegate to people that are working abroad, which is even cheaper in terms of pricing competition when it comes to salary. Paying $100,000 to an American or paying $30,000 to somebody in India that is working from India will lead even more companies and just offshoring jobs. Nobody knows that a few days or weeks ago, a politician, I believe from Idaho, just put out a proposal to tax work offshoring. Most of all, to not allow the deduction of that cost. Let me make an example. This law was to pass, what would it mean? I could pay $100,000 to an American worker. I can hire somebody in Germany for $30,000 working from Germany. If I did, first of all, I would have to pay an additional 25% tax on this. Tax of $7,500, which would bring my cost from $30,000 to $37,500. Secondly, I cannot deduct that as an expense. Normally, if you make $100 in profit, you have 40 in expenses. You'll pay taxes on 100 minus 40, so $60 of profit. In this case, all the cost that entails offshoring jobs cannot be deducted as an expense. It means that if I make 100 and I spend 40 in salaries abroad between taxes and paying these people, I will still have to pay taxes on $100, which means that my cost of 30 become a cost of, let's simplify it, of 40, plus the fact that I have to pay 20% tax, corporate tax, on that 40 that I cannot deduct, which is another 8. My real cost of hiring somebody abroad is actually 48, not 30. Unless I find a place where labor is extremely cheap and extremely skilled, it will be a tough choice between delegating to somebody abroad or hiring an American worker.
Well, now there seems to be uncertainty on whether, if you already have an H-1B, you are allowed to travel or not. Based on Trump's presidential proclamation, it says in black and white, you can't unless you pay $100,000. But just recently, it's being reported in the news that Commerce Secretary Lutnick is saying if you have an H-1B visa, you are allowed to travel. It's only for new H-1B visas. that you wouldn't be able to travel unless you're willing to pay the $100,000 fine. There's a lot of conflicting information out there, and if I was on an H-1B visa, I just wouldn't travel till we know for sure. Here's some very important breaking news. If you're on an H-1B, you have less than 18 hours to get back into the United States or you're banned. Starting at midnight, September 21st, all H-1B workers who are outside of the United States can't get on an airplane. You won't be allowed back in the U.S. And if you're on an H-1B in the United States, you're okay. Nobody's taking your H-1B away. You're allowed to work. You're allowed to be here. But you're stuck. You can't travel. If you travel, you're not coming back into the U.S. And all new H-1B petitions will not be adjudicated unless you pay $100,000 for that H-1B visa. There's been no mention in the new rules about extensions of status, change of status, so apparently you can change status and extend status here in the U.S. without a problem. This ban is going to be 12 months. And the only exception to all of this is if the U.S. government thinks your work is in the national interest because of your particular job or your industry. So let all the politicking begin for all the big companies and industries trying to convince the Trump administration that their workers are in the national interest. We're going to be saying goodbye to the H-1B program. Trump just changed the rules. If a company is going to sponsor you for an H-1B, either you or the company have to pay the U.S. government $100,000. Why is Trump destroying the H-1B program? Nobody knows for sure. Could take some guesses. One, he doesn't particularly like India. Just put 50% tariffs on India, and 75% of the tech workers who come on H-1Bs are from India. Is that a possibility? He doesn't like Silicon Valley. They seem to lean liberal. They're Democrats. Is that a possibility? And he just rolled out the gold card. He just wants people to invest $1 million and come here and get a green card. He thinks entrepreneurs are the way that we're going to build the United States, not with tech workers. Maybe there's some other reasons too I can't even think of. What do you guys think?
Today we saw two very crazy things happen with immigration. The first has to do with the H-1B program. The Trump administration announced $100,000 as the fee that should accompany an application for the H-1B visa work program. This is extraordinary, guys. This is something that is unheard of. There is not a fee like this that exists in our immigration structure. And it's sure to impact the tech industry as well as science and other fields. They're going to take a hit, although the Trump administration has said that tech is on board with this. They're okay with this. The second news has to do with the rollout of the gold card, the Trump gold card, which, friends, it's so ludicrous. It's kind of hard to even talk about. The proclamation says that the Department of Commerce will offer a visa program that will expedite the processing of visa applicants who voluntarily donate to the United States $1 million.
So guys, as we continue, let's note that what is happening here is that Trump's latest move to raise the H-1B visa fee to $100,000 has sparked outrage and confusion across America, from immigrants chasing the American dream to employers relying on skilled foreign workers. This shocking policy shift is sending waves through the country. So guys, in this video, the anger, disbelief, and heated debates about what this means for the economy, innovation, and immigration. Do you think this decision will protect American jobs or cripple job opportunities for both immigrants and United States companies? Let's talk in the comments, guys.
Or $2 million if it's a corporation who is trying to bring someone here. And this is a gift that is to be deposited in the Department of Commerce into their budget. The program is going to be managed by the Secretary of Commerce. And, oh, by the way, this is a pathway to citizenship. The proclamation says that it's going to be carried out in accordance with current law, existing law, and taking into consideration visa numerical issues like the backlog. It's going to be really interesting to see how this works, because on the one hand, it says that it's going to be carried out based on existing laws. There's no, what they're talking about here is they're saying we're not creating a new category, so to speak. You can apply to come to the United States through the immigrant visa process, provided that you're otherwise eligible for that visa. However, if you now donate $1 million or $2 million, they will expedite the processing. It will all be managed by Commerce. Yeah, you know that guy. That guy will be managing this. So this is definitely circumventing Congress. This is getting around the congressional intent with respect to visa categories and eligibility and who can come to America versus who cannot come to America. It's getting around all of those rules. This is outrageous, guys. This is truly outrageous.
So guys, a lot of people are in absolute shock. For years, the H-1B visa has been the pathway for highly skilled workers, especially in tech, medicine, and engineering, to come into the United States. But with this fee jump, many say it's nothing short of a financial wall blocking talent from even trying. And we have reactions from supporters of the policy. Some Trump supporters are cheering this move, saying it's about time we put America first and protect jobs for United States citizens. They argue that companies have been relying too much on foreign workers instead of hiring Americans. So we have the reactions from critics. On the flip side, critics are furious. They say this is going to cripple Silicon Valley, harm innovation, and even push big tech companies to move jobs overseas. Imagine losing out on the best brains in the world just because of a price tag. Guys, what about the economic concerns of this? Imagine losing out on the best brains in the world. So let's talk about the economic concerns. Small and medium-sized companies are also panicking. They simply don't have the budget to pay $100,000 per applicant. That means only the biggest corporations will be able to afford foreign talent while everyone else is left behind. Yeah, and let's not forget that the human side of this. Many skilled workers dream of coming to America for opportunity. Now, this massive fee feels like a message saying you are not welcome unless you are rich. That's not just immigration policy. It's a class barrier. Yes, guys. So what do you think about Trump's decision to raise the H-1B visa fee to $100,000? Imagine from 2,500, I think 2,500 to $100,000. Huh? Is this a bold move? Tell me, is it a bold move to protect American workers, or is it a reckless policy that will backfire on the United States economy? So guys, drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is a conversation America definitely needs to hear. Of course, guys, all credit belongs to the original creators of this video. And this video is meant for educational purposes, commentary purposes as well. Thank you for being with me throughout the video. Kindly give this video a thumbs up in case you have not yet given it a thumbs up. And also give a comment so that we can discuss all these in the comment section. I'm urging you, please, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share this video so that it can get to a wider audience. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video.